So a very warm welcome to all the participants of today's webinar. I welcome you wholeheartedly and a very warm welcome to this webinar on English studies in the post-COVID period. We are joined by very eminent panelists, and we'll be also soon joined by our Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Amit Jain. With that, once Sir joins, we will start the webinar.
Sir has joined.
Okay. So very warm welcome to Professor Sir. We are starting this session on English studies in the post-COVID period. The relevance of talking about curriculum designing is today very big, seeing that how the pandemic has affected us. And that is the reason we would like to have our Vice Chancellor Sir's words at the beginning to start the panel. Warm welcome to Professor Sir. But before Sir starts, maybe let us share his profile.
Sure.
Sir has joined. I think he still, there is a problem related to connectivity.
So you will share the PPT or shall I share?
I'm sharing.
Sir is connecting. So warm welcome to Professor Hemendra Chandalia, who is from JR in Rajasthan Vidyapith University. Professor Deepti, who is also occupying a very important position in the education wing of T-Series. Welcome to the webinar. And we are joined by more than 80 participants today, who not only belong to Amity School of Languages, but also from other universities, other schools also. And there are very young professionals who have joined us also. So with that request, both the coordinators, and I thank them also, Dr. Manoj and Dr. Parul, both have joined to coordinate this webinar. Thanks to all, and let us start with Professor Sir's profile, and then Sir will, with his kind words, we will start our panel.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Very warm welcome to all the panelists and the attendees also. So I'm sharing Professor Jain's brief profile. So Professor Dr. Amit Jain is currently Pro-Vice Chancellor, Dean, Faculty of Management and Director, Amity Business School at Amity University, Rajasthan. He holds a PhD from Sardar Patel University and has completed FTP from IIM Ahmedabad. Prior to this, Professor Jain was Director, International Collaborations and Professor, School of Business at Manipal University, Jaipur, Director, School of Hotel Management at Manipal University, Jaipur, Associate Professor and Chairperson, MBA at J.K. Lakshmipat University. He has also been a visiting professor with University of Technology, Sydney, Australia, and Chennai Istvan University, Hungary, and Szeged János University, Slovakia. His professional associations include life membership of many renowned societies and training.
Dr. Parul, Amit Jain is finding it difficult to join us.
Okay.
So can any of the coordinator talk to him about the problem and get him joined?
My apologies
Sir,
for
your
that.
voice is audible, and we are so happy that you could join, sir.
Thank you so much. So my warm welcome to both the expert speakers today, Professor Hemendra Chandalia and Dr. Deepti Trivedi. It's a
Dr. Manoj, we can withdraw this.
Pleasure and honor that two of you have agreed to talk on a very pertinent and a very apt topic in current circumstances.
Sir cannot be seen. Please withdraw this. Withdraw the sharing.
Am I audible, Dr. Deepa?
Sir, you are audible,
Yes,
but you are not visible. We want to see you
Not
also.
visible?
You are not
No,
visible.
you were visible. Sir was visible.
Can you stop sharing? Yes. Sir, now you are visible perfectly.
Fine. Thank you so much. So,
Welcome, sir.
sorry for delay. There was some technical difficulty. The microphone initially was not connecting, and then the camera. So, warm welcome, Professor Hemendra. Warm
Thank you,
welcome,
sir.
Dr. Dipti.
Thank you so much.
It's an honor and pleasure to have you with us. And the topic is again very relevant. Language helps us to connect. Language helps us to communicate. And when we are facing a situation like global pandemic, the communication between individuals, between societies, between nations becomes very, very important. And I believe English language is one such language that connects all of us to the world. And as we all know that the primary language for instruction in all our education system is English now, although we are very keen to promote multilingualism amongst our students. And with that objective, we have 4 foreign languages, and we make it compulsory for our students to pick up any one. And there are several other things that we are doing at Amity that helps to develop the personality of the student. We believe in holistic development. We believe in developing well-groomed corporate citizens of the country, and they are definitely very good citizens in social context also of the nation. During the pandemic also, we have done our level best to connect with the society, to help people around us, to help people at our campus and nearby villages, those who are in our reach. Dr. Deepa, congratulations for organizing this wonderful webinar, and my appreciation to Dr. Manoj and Professor Parul also for coordinating the same. In fact, Dr. Manoj has been spearheading a lot of initiatives at the university as part of NSS also. And
Yes.
when I think about the contributions and activities done by Amity during the pandemic, I believe Dr. Manoj has initiated several such programs, be it distribution of tulsi plants or masks, or organizing awareness camps in the nearby villages, or creating awareness for vaccination drive, tree plantation, and I mean, the list is endless. So congratulations, Dr. Manoj, you are doing a wonderful job. Professor Parul always have connected us to people in the industry and experts from the academia. And Dr. Deepa is very well coordinating the entire department. So thank you so much once again. A very warm welcome to all the guests and experts for the webinar. I have some important meetings to attend, so I'll take your leave after this. But I'm sure this is going to be a great discussion and deliberation going forward. My best wishes for the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, actually, as you know, Vice Chancellor, sir, I'm really happy that you could manage some time for us. We will be basically talking about curriculum designing and how the pandemic has reshaped the pedagogy today. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Ma'am, so everyone, all of you, again, a warm welcome. And I would like to introduce our own head department of Amity School of Languages, Professor Deepa Chakravarti. So there's a very brief profile of her. I'll be sharing with all the viewers. She's head Amity School of Languages since 2010 and has more than 30 years of teaching experience. She played an instrumental role in laying the foundation of UG, PG, and PhD programs in French and English, along with value-added courses in German, Chinese, and Spanish. Prior to this, she worked at Alliance Francaise de Calcutta, at the PG Department of French, Calcutta University, and at Ramakrishna Mission Institute of Culture, Calcutta. She did MA in FLE from Rouen University, France, PhD in Francophone Literature from Comparative Literature Department, Jaipur University, Calcutta, and MPhil in Modern History from Calcutta University. She played a pioneering role in establishing the institute's MOUs with Rennes School of Business and Sciences for Bordeaux, France, where She was invited by LAM, the Research Center in African Francophone Studies in Chartreuse, NYT for 3 consecutive years. So over to Deepa ma'am.
Okay. In fact, thank you so much for the introduction. Let us come back to our topic, which is English studies in the post-COVID period. By post-COVID, of course, we know that it's difficult to now talk about post-COVID, but we are being optimistic, a little utopian maybe, thinking that it will be soon over. In any way, how English studies are, how our education and teaching, learning stands today, that will be the prime focus of the discussion today, particularly when, National Educational Policy 2021 is talking about restructuring the curriculum. And this will be extremely important because this includes language curricula as well. And English studies, as we know, English is a global language, and a lot of importance is given to this. And if you look at our department, this is a vibrant unit having UG, PG, and PhD students in large numbers. And the curricula, when we talk about reshaping, we are actually talking about the industry connect, how our students can be more employable. That will be the major focus. And that is why we have Dr. Dipti Trivedi joining us, who is from a corporate sector and very well placed. And we have with us also Professor Hemendra Chandalia, who is heading English department in GRN Rajasthan Vidyapit University. So this will be very important, and both of them are our associated integrally to us. Professor Chandalia is our BOS expert English, as well as, he is one of the guides, supervisors that we have for the English scholars. Dr. Dipti is our industry advisory board expert, dealing with the English unit, English program, as well as she's in our BOS. So that way, both of them are there, and I'm extremely grateful to both of you. And with this words, I would also like to tell you that we are trying to significantly change our curricula according to the needs of our students, making it project-based. And every semester has got a project where students are given work. And as sir was rightly pointed out, Dr. Manoj is in charge of NSS, where students are getting chance to socially connect also. So with that, over to Professor Chandalia ji, and I'll request Dr. Manoj to share his profile to our viewers.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to share your profile, read your profile, so that the attendees can know particularly what actually sir is so special. So, Manoj sir, I'm continuing.
Please continue.
Yeah. So,
little louder, maybe.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So, Professor Hemendra Chandalia is currently head Department of English, MLB Shramjeevi College, JRN University, Rajasthan, Udaipur. He's having 28 years of teaching and research experience in English literature and language teaching. He has specialization in Indian writing in English and creative writing and journalism as well. He's visiting fellowship served as UGC visiting fellow at Sambalpur University, Orissa in March 2011. And he's been serving Central University of Haryana as Professor of English, Dean School of Language, Linguistics, Culture and Heritage. He's member of the Academic Council, member of the Executive Council and officiating Vice Chancellor during 10th Feb 2012 and 9th Feb 2014. He was editor of several Indian literary journals of repute like Dialogue, Lucknow Reflections, Bhagalpur, Mahavir, Samta, Sandesh, etc. He has more than 35 research papers and articles and 13 books published to his credits. PhD degrees awarded to scholars under his guidance are 19, and it's in continuation also. He also holds experience of corporate life by having active membership of many renowned corporate bodies. So over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maqsadji, you can make sir, I mean, instead of showing all of us, maybe sir can be highlighted. Whoever is speaking can be.
Thank you,
Okay, please
ma'am,
carry on.
Deepaji, for inviting me to this webinar. I thank Amity University,
It will be Chandalia sir who will be, yeah, thank you.
Vice Chancellor Mr. Amit Jain. And I'm happy to share this webinar with Dr. Deepti ji, who is an expert from industry. All dear colleagues in the Department of English and Languages, Amity University. I'm a part of the department, so I call you all my colleagues, all my friends. And I'm happy to be with you again. I've been there in the department so many times. So this morning, since we are meeting virtually, I extend my greetings to you, one and all, and to all the participants who have joined this webinar. As rightly said by Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, this theme is very relevant in the present context, and the Department of Languages has done a good job in selecting this theme. My very humble submission is that languages, in fact, they are like cultural bridges. They connect people, and they connect people across cultures also. Now, as far as English is concerned, I know that we would not have learned anything from the major writers of the world, whether they are French writers or Russian writers or writers from other major languages of the world, without this cultural bridge of English language, through which we have learned, whether it is Karl Marx or whether it is Durkheim, whether it is Max Weber, all these great philosophers of the world, or Saussure, or all these people who we consider very significant contributors to the world of ideas, we have learned through this language. And therefore, this is important. Now, what pandemic has done is, in one way, it has been one of the biggest tragedies of this century, and it has affected the whole world. But at some other level, if you talk in terms of what it has done in a positive way, I would say that it has broken the national boundaries. For the first time, we have realized that no amount of narrow nationalism can help us. These national boundaries have become porous for the pandemic. The pandemic does not honor your position as a world power, whether you are USA or you are Russia. And also it has learned to, it has made us learn that whether it is Pfizer or Sputnik, we cannot differentiate between the two. Since we need certain vaccination, we have to throw away the ideological blocks that we have in our mind and try to come out of those blocks and understand the world as it has appeared now after the pandemic. So things have changed. And because of the fear of infection and the threat of death, the communication has also changed. The means of communication have also changed. And as Dr. Deepti rightly said that day also, that it has become more digital now. The world has become digital, and the digital means of communication have become more important. Now, whether we like it or not, I mean, Madam Deepa Chakravarti Madam was referring to the new education policy, which lays down emphasis on Indian languages, particularly Sanskrit and Hindi. But whether we like it or not, the language of digital media in the world is English. So we have to devise new methods of making communication more effective through the use of this language across states, across communities, and across nationalities. So I have a brief presentation of just 5 slides through which I would like to share some of my ideas with the participants. And since we have a very short time with us, I'll run through those slides and try to communicate what I think about the present situation and how the curricula of universities should upgrade themselves. I know I'm a part of Amity University's Board of Studies, so they have done a good job in updating their syllabi and making it more up to date, meeting the requirements of the society now. But despite that, I'd like to make some suggestions, not just for Amity, but for all other universities, because people from other universities are also participating in this webinar. Uh, Professor Meenakshi ji, I saw she's heading department at the ML Sukhadia University. And since many other university people are also there, I would like to suggest a few things. If we can incorporate those things, then maybe we can make our students more employable so that there are more avenues for them. And in this moment of crisis, because if you go through the media reports, we'll find that in India, at least 2 crore jobs have been lost in the last 2 years. People have been losing jobs, whether it is industry or whether it is the academic world. Since I'm associated with teachers organizations also, I know that many of the colleges and universities, they have in a way retrenched teachers who were appointed on contract basis. So things are happening in industry as well as in the academic world, and we need to face and meet all these challenges with our new innovative ideas and new practices that universities can follow in future, in the time to come, in the post-COVID situation. So Manojji, can we go to the slides, please? So this is the first slide. Can we move to the second one, Manoj? Yeah. This is just a brief overview of how the world looks today, that the whole world has become a unit. Now, as I said in the beginning, we cannot now keep ourselves attached too much to the national boundaries. Things have changed. There is a greater need for international interstate collaboration. As we know, we are getting vaccine from a number of countries, from US, from UK, and also from Russia. So things are changing, and we need to understand the need of greater communication and impartial and unbiased communication across states and across nations. Another important thing that this pandemic has taught us is that the class boundaries have also been broken. It's not that it is only the poor who are being affected by this pandemic. Many of the ministers, MLAs, very rich people, they have also become victims of this pandemic, which means that this pandemic is some kind of leveler. It doesn't keep take into account whether somebody is rich or poor or highly placed or lowly placed or whatever. So once again, we have to look at society as a one unit. In our ancient classics, we talked of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Now, this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is something, which is an idea of looking at every part of humanity with compassion. This we need to learn once again after the pandemic. Another important thing, and which everybody is saying these days, is the need to remain safe. And for that, we need to devise methods of communication like this webinar, where we are not meeting physically, but we are able to communicate our ideas and share things on a digital platform. The next thing is, and which is very important, which has been realized after the first wave, that we cannot stop the economic activity. And Dr. Deepti would agree that industry also needs to be working continuously in order to keep our GDP upright, also to provide employment to those people who would be starving. In the first wave we saw, there was a massive labor migration. And the experts say that it was some 10 to 12 crore people who moved from their places of work to their native places. Now, this kind of exodus was not just inhuman, but also very tragic. So, in any new such wave, we need to think of making the economy work despite all these threats that we have in the pandemic. And finally, when we talk of the use of language and communication, I think that pandemic is a time which makes us learn that there is a need to accelerate and expand communication. As we saw, Professor Jain Sahab was talking of NSS activities of the students of Amity and how they connected with the society and villages around, making them conscious of the need of vaccination and all. So communicating across the society, going to those sectors which we usually do not communicate with is also important. And since physically we cannot go to every place now, there is a need to increase the use of digital media. Digital platforms need to be more active and more pro people and people friendly. I'm using these two words very consciously because the digital media somehow is also today, to a very great extent, oriented towards the middle and upper middle classes. You have, very little access of the people who belong to the lower and the lower middle classes, and therefore all these ideas that we share sometimes do not reach them. So maybe we need to devise certain new methods through which we can reach to a larger audience who are the real needy people, who are the victims of this COVID and other things happening around us. And next, Manoj. Now, what's to be done with the English studies? We all know that we have been all scholars of English. We have spent so many years teaching and learning English. Now, what my idea is, I mean, very humble submission is that we have been focusing too much on literary part. We have been talking about the British literature. We're talking about American literature. We have been talking about literatures in translation in English across the world. But now I think there is a need to diversify and increase the variety of activities in English department. There is a need of analysis of the needs of the economy. All around us, we have different economic activities going on. We have industry of one type or the other, and we need to assess the needs of the economy. Now, what has been done, over the last few years is that there has been little dialogue between economic sector and the academic sectors. So we are not able to build up the manpower, which is the requirement of the industry. So we have so many people in the universities, but at the same time, the industry says that we do not find people who can perform well. I have the experience of journalism. I've been associated with the Times of India, the Press Trust of India, and Dainik Bhaskar. I've been editorial advisor to Dainik Bhaskar also, and I met so many editors who said that students who pass out from universities, even after having done their courses in journalism, they need to be trained for maybe 1 year before they can actually perform on the desk, whether they are sub-editors or reporters or so on. So what kind of activity is required? What kind of skills are required in the industry? If we are aware of that, then maybe we can train our students better. So this is something which is important. Now, short-term result-oriented courses we need to evolve, which are important. I've been working with some of the universities, and I learned that, see, we can have short-term courses for maybe medical professionals, maybe lawyers, maybe people working in publication industry. And if these short-term courses can be evolved, then maybe people from industry can also join these courses, come to the university, or maybe learn online and add to their existing abilities and competences. So the value addition short-term courses could be helpful in making our departments more useful for the society, and our students also with more skills to work with the industry and so on. English basically is a discipline where we talk of skills. And ESP, we all know, those who teach English know that ESP courses are very popular these days, English for specific purposes. So if we are talking of, say, English for School teaching is fine. We have very detailed courses for that. But if we go out of this and talk of other sectors of economy, for example, if we talk of tourism, I live in Jaipur, which is a hub of tourism, and there is a lot of tourist activity around. So, what is the requirement of the tourism industry? And can a department of English in a university cater to those needs and train people who can perform in the tourism industry? So, some short term courses, ESP courses, maybe 3 months, 4 months, or 2 months courses, they could help us in making our courses more productive. Then, as I said, it is basically a skill. LSRW, we talk of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. These are the four basic skills of English language. In addition to these, when we talk of literature and literary criticism, we have the critical skill and the creative skills. Now, as a student of literature, I need to have the skills, all these skills which I have tried to list out here. And if I am proficient in all these skills, then maybe I am a better equipped person to work in any industry, whether it is publication industry, journalism, newspaper industry, or any other industry. Because my communication, whether it is oral or written, will be effective only when I am competent in all these skills. So this is something very, very important. I have worked for PTI for 13 years and I'm still writing for newspapers. So the critical skill is very important. To be critical but unbiased is something very, very important in journalism. So when I'm writing a story on, say, for example, Bengal elections, or when I'm writing a story on the Kumbh Mela that took place some 2 months back, or when I'm writing a story on, say, forthcoming parliamentary elections, then I need to be well equipped with facts, information, and at the same time, I need to have a critical eye to study the situation around us, around me, and then I need to write down with facts. So these are the skills which are required for even those students who are studying in our departments of English. Nowadays, I mean, coming to the next, many departments of English, they have renamed themselves and now they've started calling themselves Department of English and Cultural Studies. I know our University of English and Foreign Languages, Hyderabad, has a very rich Department of Cultural Studies. Now, we are going beyond nowadays from the limitation of the classical texts, the tradition of British writing or the American writing. Now we are trying to explore the newer areas of research which are around us. For example, one of my friends who is there in University of English and Foreign Languages, Professor D.K. Das, he was working on, the earlier pandemic, AIDS, and AIDS, how AIDS has affected the society and, the cultural values that have been challenged and so on. So going beyond the world of printed text to the society as a text, and looking at the problems and new conventions, new issues in the society and talking about them and the literature that is produced there. Manoj is also talking of folk literature. He has, in a way, recommended a course in folk literature in the optional papers at MA level in Amity Department of English. I believe that this
There is a question, what is ESP? English for special
English
purpose.
for specific purposes.
Specific purpose.
Specific purposes, when we cater to the needs of English communication for a particular group. For example, if we are talking of the needs of lawyers, if we are talking of the need of engineers or doctors, so actually focus in ESP is on the register. What kind of register do we use? Register is, I mean, for the students, I may tell, the vocabulary, the kind of lexicon that we use.
Vocabulary.
Yeah, vocabulary, exactly. So ESP talks of all those needs because for them, they need to have a separate vocabulary in order to excel in their profession. So that is something we do in ESP. Next, Manoj. Now, what are the avenues for the students? There are certain traditional avenues, and then we may talk of some of the new areas where students can find jobs and so on. Now, the biggest or the principal employer of the students of English, I think in the state of Rajasthan, at least I know, I have the data also, has been the Department of Education. We are creating academics, those who can go and teach in universities and colleges. Most of our students do that. And for that, the statistics is only limited to Rajasthan. If we go to the entire country, it would be much more. So we have 328 government colleges in Rajasthan. There is one central university. There are 24 state universities. There are 1,852 private colleges, more than 300 government colleges, 52 private universities, 10 universities. Now, all these institutions of higher education, they need teachers of English, people who can teach English language as well as literature, and therefore, this is one of the principal areas where our students can find employment if they can perform well. Besides that, we have a number of schools. There are more than 55,517 government schools and more than 1 lakh private schools and so on, which all need efficient teachers of English. So that is an area which is a traditional area where you can, and we have been sending our students to work, and many of them have found good places and so on. Moving from there now to the less known areas of employment. I'm aware of the public sector undertakings, banks, government departments, where we have posts of Raj Bhasha Adhikari or Hindi officers. Now, though they are called Hindi officers, but if you look at the qualifications for these posts, you'll find that if you have an MA in English and if you have a BA as an elective, Hindi as an elective till BA, you are eligible for this post. Other way around also, if you are an MA in Hindi and you have English literature till BA, you are eligible for the post of Raj Bhasha Adhikari. Why so? Because the major task of Raj Bhasha Adhikari is to translate the circulars of these offices into Hindi and circulate them. And circulars from government and from the higher bodies in banks and otherwise, they usually come in English. So their job is to implement the policy of the government of India, the Raj Bhasha or the official language policy in their offices. So I have seen even our central universities, they have a Hindi officer or a Raj Bhasha Adhikari, where our students who have done their masters with English, but who have some command over Hindi and may have Hindi literature as one of the options.
Sir, request you to finish in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Other speaker is there, yes.
We have only one slide more and I'll finish. Don't worry. So that is one. Then finally, you have translation officers or translators in Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Home Affairs. In the All India Radio and Doordarshan, you have program officers, news broadcasters, transmission executives. All these people, even I was selected once as transmission executive in the beginning of my career. I didn't join that way, but this is how I did. I had a master's in English and I applied for that. I got selected. So students who have done well in English, they can also join this. And then there is a whole, government stream called public relation officers. Every district has got a government public relation officer, PRO. And PROs also get selected from our cadre. One of my students, Manoj, knows that. He is PRO at the Chief Minister office today in Rajasthan. So he was a student of my department. He passed MA from my department and then went into this stream. Last slide, Manoj. And finally, when we talk of avenues in corporate and private sector, I'm not fully authorized and competent to talk about this. Dr. Deepti would certainly talk about that. But I'm just trying to list out a few things. If it is possible, we can talk about, because some of my students have been working there. So these BPOs, which are called business process outsourcing, they are there in almost every district of Rajasthan now. In Udaipur also, we have ArcGate and all, big companies which keep on advertising for good people, means students who can communicate in English well. Now, for this, I just want to add, what our departments can do. In BPOs, they have different accents, like if they are catering to clients from Australia or from America or from Britain or other parts of Europe, then the accent, American accent or Australian accent that is required for those students who are working as BPO workers. So if our departments can provide some short-term courses in phonetics, giving them the right kind of accent. Then maybe 15 days courses or 1 month course. So those students who are aspiring to join BPOs, they may come to the department. We can give them a training in the right accent, how they can pronounce, and then they can, after completing those courses, go back to the. I talked to one of the managers of the Arcade here in Udaipur, and he was even interested in uh, my university holding a class in their premises. He said that why don't you come and start, teach us here, have a class from 5 to 6 in the evening. Now, my university is a deemed to be university, and we cannot have off-campus study centers. So I couldn't do that. But other universities, of course, they can try and they can have their maybe some programs at the industry. Then tourism industry, I also talked about that earlier. The last thing is virtual tours. Now, this is something very important. Because of this pandemic, people are not able to go out to those places. So what we can do is we can create a video, and in this video we can narrate the description of all those places which are there, particularly historical places like the fort of Chittorgarh or Amer Fort or something. And as we move around making a video, we can give a running commentary about the historical importance of the places and persons associated with that. And if we create a video of that, it will be like a virtual tour. So that could also be done with the help of students from our department. Then hospitality industry, we have journalism.
I think, thank you, sir. That has, englobed basically all the avenues that the students can really think of getting placed. And the short-term courses that you talked about,
Yeah.
In fact, we are working on that, like global languages and the short courses we are already doing. And our students are, Amity School of Languages, Amity, Rajasthan, also have this possibility of learning a foreign language. And they are also learning this language, a 2 credit compulsory course. It can be French, Mandarin, or Spanish. So that way they are also placeable, because the MNCs are looking for people who are also are multilingual. So
Yes.
they will not be, teachers in French, or in German or in Mandarin, but that language give them an access directly to that particular culture, and they can be also intercultural experts. Thank you, sir,
Thank you,
for your
ma'am. And the
valuable
last thing
insights.
is NGO sector people.
NGOs also.
NGOs also, they want most of the, because they have to write reports of what they are doing. And also sometimes when they have foreign dignitaries visiting the places, then because my students have been working in that, they become sort of interpreters. They take them down to the local villages, the Adivasi belt, the tribal belt, and there they can work as interpreters between the local tribals and people who are visiting from other countries and so on.
And
Translation
this is
is
a
one
paid
activity.
job, sir.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
a paid job.
This
Yes,
paid
it is a paid job. In fact, they pay quite a handsome amount because, in fact, it is going to build up their image, the image of that NGO. So it's a paid job. And translation also is a paid activity, which in fact is handsomely paid by publishers and other people who are interested. So my very humble submission is I have tried to sum up 2 things. One, what we can do with our curriculum and what are the avenues for the students, and what pandemic has done. It has created certain new opportunities also. Also, it has created a lot of stumbling blocks for all of us.
Sir, we have another speaker.
And so on. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am, for giving
Thank
me
you, sir.
extra
Thank you,
time.
sir.
I'm sorry if I have taken a longer time, but
Not at all. But the interactive session is pending.
Yeah,
So let
yeah.
us have our other speaker
Okay.
also.
Thank you.
Dr.
Thank
Parul,
you.
kindly introduce her.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chandalia, sir. Okay, I'll be sharing Dr. Deepti Trivedi's brief profile because we are running short of time now. Dr. Deepti Trivedi is Vice President Academics and Business Development Head of Educational Wing, T-Series, Noida. With 20 years of teaching experience, she is currently working with T-Series Education Group. She is also assisted in the hiring and deployment of staff to make most effective use of their skills, expertise, and experience. Along with this, her 4 books published related to English language and literature shows her inclination towards academics also. Furthermore, she has supervised more than 300 bachelor's production portfolio in mass communication. Prior to this, she was academic head of ISMS. It's a media college of BAG Films and Media Limited, related to News 24 and News 24 and E24. She has organized and attended several national and international conferences, and she takes care of placements and internships of the students. Apart from this, she is also in charge of branch and franchise development, in charge of business expansion and alliances, and also in charge of brand and promotion. So over to Dr. Deepti.
Thank you, Dr. Parul.
In
And
the
thank you so
meantime,
much.
I'll request all the participants to keep on sending their questions.
Yeah.
For
Yes,
both the,
please stop sharing as well.
Yeah.
So Madam will be talking now. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Parul, and thank you so much all the dignitaries of Amity University. And thank you so much, Dr. Chandelia, for giving very valuable inputs to this session. And since you are already running with shortage of time, so I won't take
Maqsad
too
ji,
much
please
time.
highlight ma'am.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm saying, because all the major aspects have been covered by Dr. Chandalia. So I'll be simply adding on few things. Like he has talked on, I also talked on that it's a digital era. So we should be focused on that. And today we are connected. It's also the importance of digital era, the contribution of this virtual and digital time that we are connecting today. So the major role of language is there. And if we talk about the pandemic or any type of crisis, I don't think so that language, the importance of language, the approach of language and communication can be affected anytime. In fact, this is the only source we can exchange the ideas, we can exchange the thought, and obviously we can exchange the help to each other. What we did in this COVID time, this is the only way. So taking very few minutes to expand my ideas, I told on that day also that there should be the curriculum, the syllabi should be employment ready, job ready, and obviously industry ready, because we have to, the purpose of the student to join any academics, any institution, and the purpose of any organization is the same. We have to place our student, and a student pursue their career just to get the proper placement as their aspirations and their desires. So I think the parallelly, if we want to create the placement system in sustaining in the present syllabus, we should focus on workshop formats and value-added certificate courses. The ongoing syllabus we can conduct and we can run in a workshop format. For example, if we take one subject, I mean, I talk about camera and light. Yeah, since Dr. Chandalia is also from journalism field. If I take the usage of language and grammar, we can take that particular syllabus. We can take a time of just 1 or 2 week time. And we have to focus in 1 week time. We have to give 2-3 hours to that particular subject. And we can conduct that subject in a workshop format. And student can get certificate also, so that they can show by the time, at the time of interview, at the time of placement, that they have taken a specification on that particular subject. And parallelly, in every semester, in every trimester, we can add the value added program that are result oriented and job oriented. Since if we talk about language, English language, it's one way of communication, and it's already interconnected with industry and like journalism and mass communication also. So we can go for the very crisp and short courses in blog writing, because it's a digital era. Everybody wants the blog and content for their website, for social media, for a promotion aspect. We can teach them, we can give them the value-added thing in blog writing. We can go for creative writing thing. We should make them learn about the different formats of script writing, like radio, print, television, and Dr. Chandelia also mentioned in his presentation. We can go for sports writing, because today's time is business time also. We have to generate business. Everybody wants, because in this competitive scenario, nobody wants to hire 4 people for one work. Everybody wants to hire 1 person for 4 types of jobs, 4 types of assignments. So it's a time of promotion also. If you go for editorial thing, you should learn how to promote, how to sell your content. So we can make them learn the sport writing and promotion writing. Promos jo bante hain, promos writing, we can make them learn. Then how to sell your content, how to sell your product. The advertising in PR, it's a very important thing, because whatever I said 2 minutes earlier, the promotion of the content, the promotion of the product, the selling of the product, the expansion of the organization is very important. What we do in this time, if we are conducting such webinars, if we are conducting such virtual interactive sessions, what's the purpose? The purpose is that we are still sustaining and we are still running. In fact, in this pandemic and COVID times, no crisis can affect the ongoing system. So the promotional thing is very important. So advertising, that's a part of promotion, and of course PR, how to connect each other. So any languages, this to the writing for advertisement and writing for public relation is very important. I think it should be inculcated in all the schools of languages we can go for. Second is presentation skills. It's a practical oriented thing, because just to make them, just to give them handouts, we cannot make them learn what presentation skills are. So it's a practical oriented, but some assignments, some practical, some presentations, assignments should be there. And the ethics should be there, the how to present the particular content is very important. If we talk about news, since I was there in News 24, E24, both were in both platforms, the information dissemination were there, but the news dissemination were different and the entertainment content was different. When we present the news, the face gesture, the body language, the expressions are different. And when we deliver the entertainment content, everything is different. So these presentation skills are very important. Yes, Dr. Chanelia said translation. It's a very emerging role. It's playing very emerging role in today's time, because we need translators all the time in all the language. And since Amity University is running such courses of different languages, I think it should be inculcated in the courses. And as I said, the running syllabus also can be implemented and executed in specialized workshop format, by having different type of expert, variety of expert, industry experts, academic experts you can have, and you can run your courses in that way. Yeah, there are two types of content, and if we talk about creativity, so there are two types of creativity. I don't think so that everybody want to sell their product and everybody want to go the industry to corporate industries and all. Some people want to pursue the academics also. So there are two types of content, editorial and marketing. So we have to make them learn for that thing also. If you have to be creative in terms of editorial, how to write books, how to write content, how to write publications, then these are the different things. How to write reference books, how to write course and syllabus book, then these are the different things. We should make them learn the format of that. And the second is marketing aspect, which is very important for social and digital era also. We should make them learn and inculcate such type of training in our present syllabus. Social media is very important. I talked on that day also and suggested, because this is the time of social and digital era. Still, we are live on YouTube. Still, we are promoting ourselves on Facebook, Twitter, Insta, and it's not from the point of view of organization, but it's an individual interest also. Students create their pages, they want to promote their content, they make short films and they want to promote. But there's some ethics in the proper process they should learn, that how to go ahead. That is very important. It is not like that we have created a content, simply posted on social media and that's it. No, the proper ethics, the proper implementation, the proper execution, and the exit process must be involved, and they should make them learn about that how to use social media in a proper manner, from the editorial point of, from the promotion point of, and from the marketing. So these are the basic things now, which I wanted to discuss with the students. And now since there's a shortage of time, I want to open it for the interaction. If anybody has any question to ask, because I also have to leave by 11:05. So I think.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Dear participants, please raise your questions. So for Dipti, ma'am.
Now go for the interactive session.
Yes, exactly, ma'am.
So maybe Maksudji, you can put us all in the not highlighted manner. Everybody together. Maybe that will be good. And please By turn, you can take the questions, Dr. Manu.
Yes, exactly, ma'am.
You
So
and
maybe
Dr.
the
Bhatt.
question for Dipti, ma'am. Shivam Jam wants to ask a question. Shivam, if you are listening to me, you can put up your questions.
So,
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Sir, I have one question. One of the speakers last time said that there should be short-term courses for the students. But the focus of what I have seen is on the syllabus in most of the universities, and it is often seen that the seniors they believe that the priority must be given to the syllabus instead of the short-term courses. So should the complete syllabus be redesigned, or there should be, or you think there'll be addition in this?
I think Manu, Chandalia sir can take it. But before that, Shivam, just to tell you that this will be non-credit courses. So they will not be a part of your grade sheet. Okay. So students will have to earn this by paying separately, and they will get certification. That is how Amity is going about it. Over to Chandalia sir to answer this question. And Maksaji, please put everyone highlighted. So
Right. Then Meenakshi ma'am is there. She has also raised her hand for question. So can we take two questions together?
Yeah.
All right. So Meenakshi ma'am, you may also ask your question, please.
yeah, please, you can come in the platform and you can talk.
Meenakshi ma'am, you may unmute yourself.
Unmute.
Yeah.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
A very good morning to all of you. It was a pleasure listening to Professor Deepa Chakrabarti, Professor Chandalia as always, and Deepa Chakrabarti and Deepti Trivedi ma'am. I have heard for the first time. But it was a pleasure listening to both of you. And there's such a lot to learn from each other. That is what I have been marveling at.
Please come to the question,
The
ma'am.
question is, first of all, I would also like to share that from the session 21, we have also begun the courses in German and French languages at the Employability Hub, which we have set with the funds from RUSA 2. And that is in the direction of increasing the employability of the students and keeping in mind the nature of the city, that it is a city, tourist city. So there is a requirement for more courses in foreign languages. Second thing, which as soon as I read in the PPT of Professor Chandalia, because we have always been marveling at the
Ma'am, very fast,
has
ma'am.
been increasing in leaps and bounds. So when he says expand communication, I was slightly intrigued. So what did he actually mean by that?
Okay, thank you. So this question will be taken by Chandalia sir first.
Sure. Let me first answer Professor Meenakshi ji. Congratulations on beginning these certificate courses. And as far as this word expand is used, I spoke in my presentation also that the digital medium, in fact, is not accessible to a larger section of the society. So expanding the net, the kind of accessibility which is available to the poor people, to the lower middle class people, to the socially marginalized people. In fact, these are the people who suffer most, and they are voiceless. They have no medium and no platform to talk. We people who are very comfortably placed in our jobs and in the universities, we talk too much. Laugh at it, but the truth is this. So when I say expanding communication, I just mean to say that we need to include everyone in the communication. Unfortunately, whether it is the Trump's tenure of United States or Putin's Russia or today's India, it is more a one-way communication coming from the state to the masses. The other way around means when people can talk and express their concerns. The digital medium, unfortunately, as I said earlier, is oriented towards the upper and the upper middle class, which needs to be changed. I think that is what I mean to say by expanding.
So,
And
yeah,
then
I think that answered the question. And Meenakshi ma'am is writing that you mean to say that to be more inclusive.
yeah, I think that is
Yeah,
it
that
is
is
it,
it.
yes.
And
Yes, ma'am.
Deepti ji has a question.
But I think we need to answer Mr. Jam's question also, or
Yeah,
Deepti
Jam's
will
question,
take
yeah.
it.
Very fast, sir.
Deepti ji wants to leave, so let her answer the question.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think Deepti ji
actually,
should
one
be
more
given.
question is there for Deepti ma'am. Someone is asking how can he join radio? So
yeah, so maybe she can answer.
Yeah.
First of all, you have to select the right place that from where you can learn properly, because so many institutes are running such things, and but the selection of the right thing is very important, beta. So search. There are lots of options. You can search on Google also. Just Dial is there. Go through the background of the organization, and you should learn where the proper infrastructure is there. And yes, of course, the faculty is very important. The trainers are very important. And you can go and direct, you can approach to the organization or the any institute where these courses are being run, and you can get counseled. They'll be giving you proper counseling. Simple, you can take admission. It's very simple. But yeah, you should have that passion, because just doing any courses are not right thing. We have picked up any course, we want to do that. No, it is not. You have to explore yourself. That passion and the dedication should be there. Yeah, because the focus should be very clear that what you want to do in your future. If you want to go for radio, have that passion, definitely go for lots of options are there. Okay.
Right. Deepti ma'am, before you leave, one more question is there for you. Please, Hemcover Shekhawat wants to ask, please elaborate the scope of English language in PR.
Yes, PR is public relation. There are, as I told earlier, that two way of promotion is there. The one is paid and the second is non-paid. The PR is non-paid, because you have to approach to the particular organization to get your brand, to sell your brand just through your content. You have to convince them, yes, that you have that kind of product, you have that specialized product that you want to get promoted. So this is the PR thing. And advertising and PR, both are different. Advertising is paid, but PR is not. In PR, you have to create your links also. You have to make your contact also. You have to approach. And suppose, beta example, for example, if you go for any job, the first thing you send your resume, the first round is the filtration round, because the first selection will be based on the basis of your resume, your profile. And once you are filtered and shortlisted, then the second round would be there. So the PR is like this. You have to create the weightage in your content, the credibility in your content, and you have to create your contacts. You have to maintain your networking, and this is PRing. What we do here, we call, since Amity University is conducting such webinars, such interactive sessions, we also do. We call different type of expertise, professional experts, industry experts. How? We create a PR, we establish a PR, we maintain relationship, we create that relationship. So these are the two things. PR, public relation. Of public relation ka matlab hi hai, public relation, you have to create relations with the public. Public is there,
networking,
public is there in organization. And second step, you have to sell that, you have to promote that through the content. And this is the thing you have to learn, because these are the different formats of them. You have to learn those formats, how to write, how to present, how to approach. And for that also, you will have, if your university at this thing, definitely university will be doing, because Amity University is one of the recognized and well-established university who deliver the very good content, the best syllabus to their student. And after that, if you want to go anywhere, you want to learn that, then again, I'll say that the right selection is very important, from where you can learn the right. Okay, I think anything.
Thank you.
Ma'am, if any other thing there, you can get connected me any other time with the students.
So I would request you, ma'am, to put your email ID also, so that further questions they connect with you.
Yeah,
For the panelists, because the time is very short. Unfortunately, it's just 1 hour. And you can
Yeah.
see everybody wants to help students.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
also, I think, Dr. Parul, you have floated the certification thing. So
Yeah, I'll be
all the
floating,
candidates
yeah.
kindly fill it up for certification. So Chandalia sir is waiting for a long time to talk to
Yeah,
give an
exactly.
answer
There
to
are
So
Shubham's,
Deepaji,
yes.
I'm leaving. Please give me excuse to leave today. And
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah, ma'am.
connecting
Yeah,
again.
ma'am.
Thank
But
you so
please
much.
put your email ID so that
Sure,
any
I'll be
further
sharing it.
questions, they can get connected with you.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
Chandalia
you.
ji.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Dr. Parul. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Deepti. Take
So,
care.
sir, I'll read some questions.
Sir,
for you.
as to answer some question,
Yes, yes.
we will give sir some opportunity. So this is regarding Shubham's question, who is our scholar, and is asking that if you talk about short-term certification, then what will happen to the syllabus? So I partly said that it will not
So,
affect it at
ma'am,
all
if you
because this
when
will
you
be
are talking
extra
about
syllabus things.
yeah.
Chandalia sir.
So, ma'am, one more thing I would like to say, if sir is talking about the syllabus. So, one more question is there related to syllabus.
Let him finish because he is not getting chance to talk. Sir,
Yes,
please.
fine. In fact, I have now the opportunity to answer all the questions since Deepti ji has left. So the questions addressed to her also, I'll try to address and reply. And I mean, the question on the syllabi and these short-term courses, which are additional courses, I think Professor Deepaji has rightly answered that there would be non-credit courses and they can be taken up as additional courses. So students should not worry on that account. And secondly, it enhances their competence. And it is mostly voluntary. You cannot force on anyone. So anybody who is interested in adding to his existing knowledge and competence can join these courses. This in fact increases employability and it is in the interest of the students to opt for as many courses as they want. And since, if you look at the new education policy, they are talking of possibility of lateral entries to different programs. They have even allowed now 2 degree programs at the same time, simultaneously, which was not allowed earlier.
So your voice is not very audible.
Yeah. What I'm saying is the new education policy permits a student to take 2 degree courses simultaneously, which was not there earlier, which means that the new policy promotes learning, which is parallel. You can go into
Yes, sir.
things
Yes, sir.
parallelly. Even if you are a student of English literature and if you are interested in journalism, then maybe you can take a course in journalism simultaneously at the same time without waiting for a degree to be completed. So such possibilities are coming up in
So
the
that
new
is there also. And let me just tell you that we have these basket courses, open electives. We have these minor degrees also that we give for a
Yeah,
long time
I know
now.
the basket courses are
So
there.
they can
They
do
are very,
journalism course, they can do management course.
right.
So that will be in their mark sheet only.
Yes. So
This
it is
open
something
electives.
important. Therefore, I think no student should get worried on that account. In fact, it is just to help them and to help them have more competencies
Yes,
in
sir.
different fields. Uh, uh, I think there is a question about jobs in radio. I think Jam only asked this question.
Jam is asking. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Jam is asking. So, uh, as far as the All India Radio is concerned, they do advertise posts for transmission executives and program executives, and they have a written test for that. So you have to pass the test and then face the interview and get selected. Now this is with the public sector, means All India Radio and uh, I don't know about Doordarshan, but this happens. Then you have a number of private channels these days coming up. FM radio and all other things. So there are opportunities of anchoring. There are opportunities of giving talks, making some presentations. I have given talks on All India Radio for more than 20 years. And of course, this is not a regular job, but for every broadcast, they have a broadcast fee for it. So when I started, it was just 500 rupees for 10 minutes. That was in 1985. Now it must have increased.
It will
So,
be lot more now, I'm
yeah,
sure.
and the last fee, the maximum that I got was in 2005. That was 5,000 rupees for broadcast of one of my poems. The All India Radio has a program on 25th of January, Sarva Bhasha Kavi Sammelan. So that was I was a part of that in 2005. Nowadays, that was also in 2005. So 2021, the fee must have risen, and those who are aspirants, they can approach All India radio stations and also private radio stations in order to get their things broadcast, so that they can maybe earn money also. They can also
It
work
can be a
as
parallel job also,
yeah,
and it can be a full time if they
it
aspire
can be a
more.
full-time job. So both ways.
Any other question, Dr.
Right,
Gandhi?
right. Suhani Agarwal, please, you may raise your question. You've been unmuted. Yeah, Suhani.
Uh, Good morning, everyone. First of all, actually, I want to ask that right now I am doing a job as a digital marketer and content writer in a company, in a local company, but they have good projects. But in future, I want to go for journalism, like fashion magazine, journalism and fashion magazine, or either
Please
I
state
want,
your qualification, Suhani.
ma'am, I have done BSc. Then I have fashion designing diploma 2 years. Then I have
Okay.
done MA in English literature, and right now I am doing PhD. And with it, I am doing the diploma in graphic design and video editing.
Okay, right. We understood. Now we understood. Yes. Yeah. Dr.
So
Sandhya.
that's why I want to ask how can I apply for the jobs and what is the scope. Actually, my first preference is I want to work as an editor in a publication or go for fashion journalism.
Lot of things. Okay.
Either this or that.
Okay, right. Chandaliya, sir.
In fact, she has a set of diverse qualifications. She has been
Diverse
working in different
qualifications.
areas. So that is something, of course, creditable. But as far as journalism is concerned, I think there are two things. One, either you want to write a column, you can be a freelance journalist and still write columns, as many people do in the Hindu and other newspapers. So you can be a columnist, because with her qualification in so many areas, she can be a regular column writer for any newspaper. They would certainly like to publish, and they pay per column. Or in some newspapers, it is according to the number of words, like say 5,000 rupees for a story of 1,000 words or something like that. So it all depends on different publications. But if as
I
far
think
as
one
her-
at a time will be good, Suhani.
yeah, and if she wants to become an editor, then I think she should go for at least a PG diploma in journalism or master's in journalism, because that will help us, because editor's job is a rather serious job, and that's a big responsibility also.
So will diploma in journalism work? I can go for diploma. I can't go for UG or PG degree, of course. But yes, I can go for
yeah, it will
journalism
help. It will help because you have
You
some.
can do some certification courses, Suhani. That's a good
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, from the college, I am doing graphic designing. I asked them for a print media course actually. So they right now, because of Corona situation, actually it is like somewhat getting unsettled. That's why they are offering me web designing and video editing course right now. But if it's so, then I will ask them that I want it in print media only, because it will be more helpful to me actually.
Yeah, thank you, Suhani. You can do that.
Yeah.
Maybe we will take last question
Yes,
now.
ma'am, exactly.
We have question of Neha
There is a,
Makhan.
yes.
Okay, Dr. Parul, you can take the question.
Yeah, ma'am.
So Neha, if you can unmute yourself and speak. Neha Makhan, are you there?
And those you can, those who have raised the hands, you can now put it down.
Okay, you
yeah,
can ask.
exactly.
I think she's not there.
One
Otherwise,
more
it
question
seems
is
you have more
there lying
questions.
in chat box for long.
Manu,
How
so you
can
can
we
take your
have
seat.
project-based syllabus to enhance LSRW skills, particularly in technical field like BC and BSc? Can you suggest some projects for them? So
I
Dr.
think,
Swati Kumari has this question, sir.
Manoj, you can answer this better.
No, sir. Here I request you to answer this.
Because you've been doing it. So yeah, even students of BCA and people working with computers, they can have short projects. Maybe they can go for a write-up or even creation of a small videos, small videos in which they talk in English and talk about areas of their interest. So I think that will help in these spoken and listening skills. That is an area which is becoming more popular these days. Right, 2-3 minutes video clips. They are very important. Or they can go for creating of what we call documentaries. Documentaries are a rich resource of fact-based information. So they can prepare some documentaries, maybe in the area of their interest, whether it is academics or social, related to the community, or any of the issues of their interest. They can talk about their own place, write a good script, read it out properly, prepare a video, and then send it. So this is how they can make certain projects, shorter projects, wherein their knowledge of computers is also used and their knowledge of English is also used. Both the things are used.
Okay, but we have heard, largely bypassed our time limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand this only shows the success of the program. More and more questions are coming.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
something
wants
very
to talk.
important.
Maybe we can have another session, but the IT support is getting impatient. So with that, we have to end the session.
We can
And
ask them
I
to
will
list the
request
questions.
Chandalia sir to
Yes, sir.
put your email ID and for further discussion.
Sure, ma'am. Fine.
Because we would love to continue this, but the problem is it's a 9 to 10 session, 10 to 11 session, right? So now it's maybe one, if you want to add to that, Chandalia sir. After that, we will finish the session, complete the session.
No, I think this is fine, and it has been a very interactive session, very good session. The more the number of questions are, I mean,
Yes, sir.
it sounds of
having
the
questions,
success.
But I look at it, sir, like
Mhm.
this is okay. They have shared. Now the rest of the questions can be directly shared with the speaker. So it can be with Dipti ji, the mail ID is already there.
Yeah.
And it can be with Chandalia sir, whose mail ID is already there. You can put questions directly to them. So it's not that we are not answering your questions.
No, it would be also useful if they can copy these questions to the coordinators so that it will become a part of the record of the program.
Yes.
So they would know how many questions have been asked and how many questions have been answered.
Yeah, that is for documentation. Our coordinators are
for
doing,
documentation.
I guess.
It will be good.
But their answers need to be given. Answers
We
need to be
will certainly do that. But the complete program would be on record in documentary form also, when all the
Yes.
questions are there with the coordinators. That will be good, I think.
Yeah, I request both the coordinators to take note of all the
Sure,
questions.
sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
And congratulations, ma'am. Congratulations.
Congratulations to all,
Congratulations to
esteemed
Arvind ji.
speakers, coordinators, all the
You've
participants.
done very
We got
well.
more than 70 odd participants who have come live this today. So thanks a lot. We will be having such sessions in future also, looking at the success of the session.
Thank you, Shafayat.
I really want to thank our authorities, Vice Chancellor sir, and Founder President also, to have given us this opportunity and for encouraging us to go ahead with these sessions. It is the only way we can survive in these pandemic times.